This on June 23rd while she was in New York, and she told the magazine that she tried to soften the royal family's image. She said, I tried again and again to get them to hire someone to give them proper advice, but they didn't want to hear it. They kept saying I was manipulative, but what's the alternative? To just sit there and have them make your image for you? So would it appear to you that this is something that the royal family has gotten the word on now?
I think at last the royal family realizes that Diana was right and correct. The question is it too late? I hope not, but we'll have to wait and see. The next 2 or 3 years will determine the fate of the House of Windsor. And remember, the Queen is
long before Diana's death. Her photos decorated these walls for years, a testimony to a modern, active woman, close to her sons, glamorous yet down to earth, an icon for the late 20th century woman.
She spoke her mind. She told the world how she felt.
In a country renowned for its stiff upper lip, Diana wore her emotions on her sleeve, openly confessing to a loveless marriage, suicide attempts, her eating disorders, and her quest for emotional security. Just about any woman who is plagued by low self-esteem, who worries about her weight, who seeks to redefine her life after marital breakdown. Any woman with everyday problems in the 90s seems to have found a spokeswoman in Diana. Ruth has bulimia.
When Princess Diana spoke about her own bulimic experiences, I think that really made the profile go up and made everybody aware that bulimia is a very important.
Margaret's trouble, men.
The way Charles treated her, I thought, you know, was quite horrible. And I think there's a parallel to the way women are treated by men in general. You know, so that sort of touched me.
Yolanda just like Diana's style.
I loved copying her clothes. I think she had a lot of dignity. She went through a lot. And sometimes I feel like maybe I paralleled some of the things that happened in her life.
Diana may have been a princess, but she seemed to suffer along with the rest of us.
Until she came along, the royal family had always been very much other and quite fuddy-duddy, and she brought with her all the kind of cares and interests of her generation, and so she's sort of come to personify what it is to be young in the 80s and 90s.
Diana took her boys to McDonald's, to amusement parks, to the movies, just like any mother might. She went to the gym, saw a psychic, was into aromatherapy. For a generation of women, she struck a chord with the way she lived. Now those same women struggle with the loss of their royal role model. Siobhan Dare, CNN, London.
Do you want to toss to him? We are outside Buckingham Palace.
See the flashing lights?
We are outside Buckingham Palace. Is it all right for me to lean down? I know we're on now live, but can I lean down to go ahead and see the monitor here so I can see the pictures where we are? The Queen is making her way into Buckingham Palace, and she had just passed Hyde Park. And as you can see our pictures, we're getting an idea that the Queen is getting very close to us. I'm trying to look down the lane to see which direction she's coming in. The crowd gathered here at Buckingham Palace is hushed as everybody is looking, and they're getting up on their tiptoes, some folks, to try and see if they can get an idea of how far away the Queen is. I'm looking at our pictures, and here comes the motorcade. Motorcade coming in, carrying the Queen, as she's made her way back from Scotland now. And she comes back. She was scheduled to come back just Saturday morning, as you may have heard, before the funeral of Princess Diana. That all changed when there was an uproar of criticism splashed all over the news and the front page of the papers. And the Queen was said to be very, very hurt by that. And so now she gets ready to make and get ready for her address. And there is a light bit of applause starting and people hopping up and down in the crowd to get a better view of the Queen coming into Buckingham Palace. Bill Delaney, you're down at St. James's Palace. What can you tell us from that location?
Crowd here for the very hushed crowd. It's remarkable. Yes, go ahead.
Out of the car. I hope I didn't stand up in our shot. Let me move over here to the side. The Queen out of the car here at Buckingham Palace as she gets an idea for the first time. She's probably seen the pictures on television of all the flowers and the cards and the remembrances here for Princess Diana, but I can tell you, having seen it even from our location where I'm broadcasting to you from right now, and then having walked over there, it's an incredible sight to be among the smell of the flowers, the lilies that have that spicy smell, and to look and to read some of those notes is so emotional. The people who have poured out their hearts in grief over losing Princess Diana. So there is the Queen, dressed in a black hat, and I'm not able to see what else she has on, walking by and looking at some of the flowers and the remembrances here at Buckingham Palace. Let's see if we can hear some of the crowd a little bit more.
Well, just about in the middle, I would say, of that picture. You can see all the white there in front of the gates. Those are flowers, bouquets of flowers.
Where the crowd surging in.
Mike Lee, get in position. Get in position, Mike.
The Queen getting ready for this very, very important address today, which breaks protocol. She usually only does a taped message on Christmas Day, but today she will get ready to make a statement said to be hurt by all the criticism over their response and or lack of response at an earlier time to the death of Princess Diana. Bill Delaney is at St. James's Palace. Bill, back with you again.
Yeah, Donna, one thing we've noticed in talking to people out here at St. James Palace, however, is definitely a shift in the mood. The fact that the royals have come back, the fact that the Queen will be speaking to the nation and the world later this afternoon is beginning to have an impact. People are beginning now to feel that this family, which held itself so removed, even a bit detached, it seemed to many in the early days, is now beginning to show its emotion. Those moving pictures from Balmoral Castle yesterday have had a tremendous impact. The crowd here outside St. James Palace, as crowds throughout these past 3 days, a deep hush, hardly anyone speaking to anyone else, people moving in a kind of almost eerie quiet. The Mall, the long promenade that leads down from Buckingham Palace and to Admiralty Arch and beyond to Trafalgar Square has been cleared. People waiting patiently behind iron barricades, and as I say, barely a word from anyone. Everyone anticipating that perhaps the Queen, perhaps Prince Charles and his sons may eventually make some sign of a presence here on the Mall. I will add that
earlier we had live pictures for you here on CNN when Prince Charles and Prince William and Prince Harry arrived back at Kensington Palace, the home of their mother when she lived here in London. And the crowd received them so warmly, and they were warm right back. Touching the shoulder of Harry, I saw people with tears in their eyes and shaking hands, and to applause there at Kensington Palace when they came and arrived back from Scotland today. It's my understanding that with that change of plans, since Prince Charles and Prince William and Harry came to Kensington first, then they will be going to St. James's Palace to pay their respects to their mother, while the Queen is here at Buckingham. And here, this is an aerial photograph. You can get an idea, a better sense of the crowd, an aerial picture. We hope that you're able to get a sense of how many people are here and the numbers of flowers and just how important it is for so many people to come here and pay their respects and to be a part of this. I was reading in some wire copy earlier, one man said, "I didn't think it would affect me like it has, but it certainly has." So even people who didn't think they cared as much about the princess being affected by this. And one of the people who works with us in CNN said that in Italy it's the same thing, and in countries around the world so many people are mourning. A newspaper report I saw this morning said that between 1 and 6 million people may be expected tomorrow, and I'm even hearing up to 8 million from one of our producers in my ear now, that up to 8 million people may be viewing this procession tomorrow for the funeral that will take Princess Diana. And that doesn't even include the television audience. The television audience could be well over 2 billion people who will watch worldwide as Princess Diana is laid to rest. And you may have heard that her brother had disinvited some of the tabloid editors from coming to the funeral tomorrow. Westminster Abbey holds a little less than 2,000 people, and apparently some of these tabloid editors had already received an invitation to the funeral, and he asked that they not come, and they have agreed not to come to the funeral tomorrow at Westminster Abbey. We have extensive live coverage for you tomorrow of the funeral as well. We have locations all along the procession, and we'll be bringing you coverage here on CNN of that funeral, and so perhaps you will be one of the over 2 billion people watching. Also sustained coverage through the night and several specials on CNN, and we'll be bringing you those program reminders throughout the day. As we continue to look at the pictures here of Buckingham Palace, where the Queen seems in no particular hurry to leave the crowd and to get inside. She is spending quite a bit of time out here with this huge crowd that's gathered in Buckingham Palace area to see her as she comes back from Scotland to get ready for the address. Still talking to the crowd and spending time with them. There has been such emotion in this crowd, and it goes in waves. Some people will say something or see something or write something. When I came into work today, there was a little girl who had a single flower by her mother who had a single flower, and she was hunched over a little teeny card and busy writing what she was on her little note to the princess to leave here at Buckingham Palace. At St. James's Palace, where the princess' body rests, is our Bill Delaney. Bill?
Yes, Donna, as you say, what's most remarkable about all this, emotion undiminished. Day after day, if anything, it seems to be building. One has to think that tomorrow, when as many as 8 million people are crushed into this city, there could be also something of an emotional catharsis. This emotion has to go somewhere. I think when we see the funeral procession tomorrow, we will be seeing many tears as well. People are holding something down, one almost has a sense here, as they look on. The patience of these crowds as we stand here on the Mall. It is a beautiful, soft, early autumn day in London. But
not on Donna's line.
So, as I say, Donna, it's just a tremendous sense that tomorrow, I think, really will be an enormously emotional day. There needs to be some release here. People are holding this within their hearts for days now, and will hold it through the night. Tomorrow will be an extraordinary day indeed. Donna?
Bill, I think that's an excellent point to make, because I think with the funeral, I think, as some people have said before, the funeral then makes it real, because I think so many people are still in shock and still saddened, but they can't quite grasp that perhaps that Princess Diana really has passed away, that she really is gone, and the funeral will bring that home to a lot of people. The cars that you saw just moments ago going by are bringing the Queen Mother here to Buckingham Palace, and the pictures we showed you before that as well. The Royal Standard now flies again at Buckingham Palace since the Queen has returned. Now tomorrow during the funeral, there was some controversy over that as well. During the funeral, though, they are saying that the Union Jack will fly half-staff, not the Royal Standard, but the Union Jack will fly half-staff during the funeral tomorrow. Also, you may have noticed that the Queen and Prince Philip getting flowers from the crowd and adding them to the enormous bunches of flowers that sit here at Buckingham Palace. It will be such an emotional day tomorrow when the funeral happens. We have a lot of our folks ready at locations all around to cover the funeral of Princess Diana. We start very, very early in the morning here at CNN. And I just have to agree with Bill Delaney once again, because I think that it will be such an emotional day for folks who are watching this, trying to realize that the princess really is gone. And we'll come back after a short break here with more for you on CNN.
With text messaging.
Diana, we'll continue to follow things out of London, but in the meantime, there is other news to talk about in the world, including in South America. At least 30 people were killed in Paraguay last night.
Staking out a place so they can get a good view as the cortege passes around London. People have been singing Candle in the Light, the song that Elton John will sing at the service. Most of the city center will be closed, shops will be closed, Harrods will close for the second time in 100 years, the first time during Churchill's funeral. Riz?
Siobhan, the royal family was far more visible today. There was a lot of criticism that they hadn't really been visible enough shortly after Princess Diana's death. How much did you witness that appearance of the royals so visibly today change the mood of all those thousands of people lining the streets of London?
Well, one of the things we kept hearing was that it was too late, but people did seem to be satisfied with the tone of the Queen's message. People were deeply moved by seeing the princes, the two young boys, out among the crowds. People were visibly trying to comfort the boys, handing them flowers, taking their hands. The boys were very stoic, very composed, and the mood did definitely shift, and people do seem to be quite satisfied with the Queen's display of emotion and her tribute that she paid to Diana. But they are saying that it did come a bit late. Riz?
Siobhan, thanks. We'll keep in touch with you, of course. Siobhan Darrow in London. Well, in France, much of the attention is on the investigation into the car crash that killed Diana and two others, and in particular, a hotel surveillance video showing the princess and her friend Dodi fired minutes before their deaths. CNN's Jackie Szymanski joins us now from Paris with more details on that. Jackie.
Riz, as you said, the attention here on the investigation. Late yesterday, 3 more photographers were added to a list of those being investigated by Paris police for whatever role they may have played in the car crash that killed Princess Diana and 2 others. Paris police, as I said already, investigating 7. 3 more have now been added to that list and apparently have been ordered not to speak with the other photographers. But here, attention was focused mainly on the hotel security tapes that were made public by the Al Fayed family yesterday, showing Diana and her companion Dodi Fayed in their last hours before the crash. The Ritz Hotel security tape shows a lot, but proves little. The tape shows some of the last moments in the lives of Princess Diana and her companion Dodi Fayed. It shows them entering the Ritz Hotel. It shows them moving about, and then it shows Dodi Fayed with his arm around the princess just before departing the hotel. There are several angles of their departure. There seems to be no sign of photographers as the pair make their way out of the back exit of the hotel. But a viewpoint at the front clearly shows crowds of both photographers and onlookers. Al Fayed family spokesman claimed photographers can be seen racing to waiting motorcycles on the left of the screen, set to pursue the couple. The spokesman also claimed the footage proves driver Henri Paul was not drunk. He's seen talking and moving around both in and out of the hotel.
Let me repeat what I've said before. We condemn drink driving in the strongest possible terms. I have not come here to defend the indefensible.
But the claims and footage are far from conclusive. Paris police say driver Henri Paul had a blood alcohol level 3 times over the legal limit. And photographers continue to deny any responsibility for causing the crash. 10 are now under investigation and find themselves under intense media scrutiny. The photographers say they're scapegoats, blamed before a thorough police probe is completed.
The judge has to examine and to investigate on every plan. And of course, he has to know what could be the different causes or the only cause of the crash.
One possible cause to be re-examined was driver Henri Paul intoxicated or not. He was to have been buried in his hometown on Saturday. The funeral has been delayed. There's speculation his family has requested another blood alcohol test to clear his name. There will not be any particular funeral services or special services held for Princess Diana here in Paris today. There was a closed Anglican church service last night, but mainly people are going to the entrance of the tunnel where the accident occurred. They're laying flowers, and in fact, they're leaving notes as well. And one in particular said goodbye to the real Queen of England. Riz?
Well, Jackie, until the investigators can speak to Trevor Rees-Jones, Diana's bodyguard, there's going to be still a mystery about certain things that happened there. But the Al Fayed family is obviously making a strong case here. How is that being received by the investigators?
Well, I'm sure they'll want to, if they haven't already, look at the videotape. But as I said, it shows a lot, but it doesn't prove that much. There's still a long way to go before the investigation is solved. There's more witnesses to speak to, more photographers to speak to. The judges, a second judge has been added to this case to try and get to the bottom of it. There's a long way to go yet before there'll be final answers, a final cause. And I think everyone is getting a bit more concerned now about a rush to judgment. Photographers were very quickly vilified for whatever role they may have played. But at this point, there's concern that there may be a rush to judgment, and until everything has been investigated, been sifted through, we won't have the answer.
Okay, Jackie Szymanski in Paris, thanks. We'll stay with CNN for continuing live coverage of Princess Diana's funeral. The procession begins at 9 a.m. London time, that's 0800 GMT. The service at Westminster Abbey follows at 11 a.m. London time, or 10 hours GMT. And the funeral cortege from Westminster Abbey to Althorp Park, the Spencer Estate, at 12 noon London time, which is 11 hours GMT. Meanwhile, the world mourns another woman, one who made it her vocation to serve the poorest of the poor. As World News continues, a look at the life and legacy of Mother Teresa.
Concern. Across town at Buckingham, time in 40 years, addressed her country expressing grief for Diana's death.
She was an exceptional and gifted human being. In good times and bad, she never lost her capacity to smile and laugh, nor to inspire others with her warmth and kindness.
Mother Teresa, who shared many a life.
Have her eyes open?
That I can't remember. I think her eyes were closed, but the rest, it goes by fast, very fast. But the picture I have that I will remember is that she looked very beautiful. She was magnificent. I did not see blood. It looked like she was sleeping. She looked very beautiful.
Arsov admits he took pictures of the crash scene, but says his flash wasn't working. As paramedics tried to revive Dodi Fayed, he saw Princess Diana's face through the car window.
You said you noticed how beautiful Diana's face was. Do you recall taking a picture of her face?
Absolutely not, absolutely not. And even if I had had the chance, I would not have been able to do it. It was too intense.
We just saw a scene that we couldn't really
But other
understand,
witnesses, like these Americans, say flashbulbs were popping everywhere.
But these photographers were all over the car like sharks would be after raw meat.
Did you notice any photographers interrupting first aid as they tried to help the victims?
Absolutely not. I personally did not partake in that kind of scene.
Nicolas Arsov had worked for the SIPA photo agency here in France for many years, not as a photographer, but as a messenger. He got his big break about 9 months ago when he was finally made a photographer. Arsov had never covered Princess Diana, never tried to capture her on film, until last Saturday.
Many people feel that photographers are indirectly responsible for the crash. How do you feel?
I don't agree at all. It's absolutely untrue, absolutely untrue. Personally, I think the photographers are not responsible.
Arsov was one of the photographers who was arrested and now could face criminal charges, but some other photographers got away. Have you gotten a lot of requests for the picture that you have?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
This man actually had pictures from the crash scene. Laurent Sola is the director of another French photo agency. While he insists he wasn't in the tunnel that night, he says 2 of his photographers were there, and they took pictures of Dodi Fayed and Princess Diana.
Conscious.
She was conscious?
She was conscious, definitely. She was moving in the car. She was moving her head, and you just can't imagine her eyes were open. And you just can't imagine that she was going to die 4 hours later.
Despite a public outcry against the paparazzi, Sola says many media organizations were clamoring for his photo of a dying princess.
The money at this time wasn't a problem for the media. I was not asking a price for the picture. Media was saying we want the picture whatever the price is.
Sola says he was prepared to sell the photo, but changed his mind when he learned Diana did not survive. He says he turned it over to police. While many French photographers feel terrible about this tragedy, most do not feel responsible. They believe they're scapegoats. Taking pictures cannot kill someone, they say, but drunk driving can.
Will you change the way you approach taking pictures in the future?
No, absolutely not. Why? I did nothing criminal. Why would I change? I don't feel guilty. Not at all.
Today we learned that Diana's family has filed a civil suit in connection with the crash. That will allow the Spencers to seek damages if the photographers go to trial. The Al Fayed family has filed a similar suit. Meanwhile, Dateline commissioned a poll to find out who Americans believe should bear most of the blame for the paparazzi seeming to be out of control. We got some surprising results. 10% were not sure. 24% blamed the tabloids. And 31% blamed the paparazzi themselves. But the highest number, 35%, placed the blame on readers who buy the tabloids. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, the down-to-earth princess who helped one family cope with tragedy.
Louise had always wanted to see Diana, and she just said, if I could just see her for a minute, just 1 minute to see Diana, I'd be so happy.
How they became friends with Diana for life, as our Dateline special, A Last Goodbye, continues. Here is Stone Phillips.
The way Diana lived her life may forever change the monarchy. The way she died may forever change the media. Angry stars, tired of being targets, have been blasting the paparazzi ever since her death. And now, as Rob Stafford reports, they're promising to do even more.
The paparazzi line up like a firing squad, ready to pull the trigger whenever a star takes a step, or better yet, a fall.
The paparazzi and the tabloids, when they want you most, is when things are going the worst in your life. That's when they really are out, you know, to get you.
Supermodel Christy Brinkley is one of many celebrities calling for a crackdown on the tabloids. But if stars here in America think they have it bad, it is nothing like what Princess Diana went through in England.
The people in London are just out of control. I mean, they don't give any space, they don't give any respect whatsoever. It's really scary.
Columnist Linda Stacey has worked for American and English newspapers.
She's the beautiful princess dumped by the evil prince for another woman. I mean, and then she finally finds true love. Could anything be more made in the tabloids?
So even the moments Diana hoped would be private became painfully public. And then when her marriage began to fail, the paparazzi never let up. In this well-publicized example, they even tracked Diana to her psychiatrist's office and chased her down. After the divorce, it seemed the crown on her head was replaced by a bounty. Just last month, the price tag may have reached as much as $400,000 for this fuzzy photograph of Diana and her new boyfriend, Dodi Al Fayed. They hounded Diana through much of her life, but now that she's gone, it's the paparazzi on the run. Whether those photographers played a role in Diana's death or not, celebrities here in America are seizing the opportunity to wage war against the tabloids.
Princess Di is dead. And who should we see about that? The driver of the car, the paparazzis, or the magazines and papers who purchase these pictures and make bounty hunters out of photographers?
This week, actor George Clooney called for tougher libel laws to keep news organizations from running stories that aren't true.
You feel like you're being hunted, and they feel like they gotta nab you, and it's like, what did I ever do to deserve this?
Actress Fran Drescher asked people to boycott publications that go too far. Over here. And Christy Brinkley is suing the National Enquirer over a series of articles.
Nobody needs that kind of attention.
From her divorce from musician Billy Joel.
They're like roaches, you know, they're parasites.
To her helicopter crash in Colorado. The paparazzi have descended on every crisis in her life.
I am basically suing to preserve my reputation.
Last month, the Enquirer reported she'd had a breakdown. But Brinkley certainly seemed happy and healthy when Dateline talked with her this week.
It's not easy to have a 11-and-a-half-year-old daughter go to school and come back and say, Mommy, they said that they read that you're crazy.
Here's a recent copy of the Enquirer. You seen it?
Yes.
Big article on Christy Brinkley's breakdown.
Mm.
Is that true?
No.
They say you ordered the cops to shoot a cow. Did you think that was funny? Just a little bit?
No, I'm a vegetarian, and I have been since I was 13 years old.
The Enquirer has refused comment about her lawsuit. Brinkley says stories about her family have hurt the most.
If you're with your children, will the photographers back off?
No. Coming home from the hospital with Alexa, I remember a lens somehow dropped or came very close to smashing down on my newborn's head.
Brinkley says the pursuit of Princess Diana's car sounds all too familiar.
The paparazzis are fighting amongst themselves. You know, they're not only fighting to get at you, but they're elbowing each other and pushing and shoving, and sometimes fist fights break out. And all of that raises the adrenaline and the fear, and everybody gets pumping.
People are going to watch this and say, here is a beautiful woman who is incredibly successful. Toughen up. I mean, it just goes with the territory. You've got all these great things that a lot of people don't have. So if a guy wants to chase you around and take your picture, you should put up with it.
I'm very aware of how lucky I am. Very aware of that. But it doesn't mean that I should allow people to lie, to defame me, to photograph my image and sell it attached to these lies.
Brinkley and other celebrities think the time is right to take on the tabloids. According to one gossip columnist, 3 unnamed stars are spending millions to dig up dirt on the tabloid publishers themselves. And today in California, the governor said he considers signing a bill to keep the paparazzi 50 feet from stars who are not at public events.
There are boundaries that they are crossing. And I don't think that the public really truly understands, because I think if they did, they wouldn't reach up at the supermarket stands and buy that trash.
Madonna, another constant target of the paparazzi, told the London Times, quote, anyone who has ever been chased like that and who had to live that sort of life hit that wall with Diana.
Still ahead, a bond broken by tragedy. A loss beyond measure.
This is the last public gesture he...
From London, Jane Pauley.
His mother was the object of oppressive, invasive public attention. In the short life of Prince William, not a week passed that his mother wasn't on the cover of a newspaper or magazine, sometimes all of them all at once. Will all that attention now turn on him? When the tears and processions and public mourning finally come to an end, what's in store for 15-year-old Wills? Here's Dawn Fratangelo.
He's the boy who would be king. His Royal Highness Prince William, 15 years old, already regal-looking. At 6 feet, already taller than either of his parents. But who is this blonde, blue-eyed monarch in waiting?
It was to be a private service of confirmation for Prince William, who one day will be head of the Church of England.
If he's anything like his mother, he may break the royal mold, and that could start as early as tomorrow. Diana's funeral, like anything involving British royalty, is dictated by tradition and symbolism. Just the report that William wanted to walk with his mother's coffin set off a flurry of speculation as the world tried to interpret the actions of this royal teenager.
I'm not sure that anybody as young as William has ever walked behind the coffin on an occasion such as this, and that might be construed as a break with precedent.
What does that say about him?
I suppose it says that he's a very devoted son, and that this is the last public gesture he can make to his mother, and he would wish to do so.
Professor David Cannadine has been studying the British monarchy for 20 years and says its fortress of protection prevents most from knowing the real William.
We know that he's a 15-year-old public school boy attending Eton, the most famous public school in Britain. We know that one day he will probably become king as William V when his father dies. I don't think beyond that we really know much about him at all.
Yet the world is concerned about what his life will be like now. How will his mother's death affect his reign as king?
I suspect that had Diana lived, one of the things she would have come to regret and resent was the way in which her sons were more and more drawn into the world of Balmoral and Buckingham Palace and the royal court, because that's in a sense their destiny.
From the beginning, this child was special.
Her Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, has given birth to a baby son. God save the Queen!
Not many newborns have their birth announcements made like this, with a country and the world watching. In the beginning, Charles and Diana were like many new parents, giddy about the smallest details.
He loves his koala bear he's got, but he hasn't got anything particular. He just likes something with a bit of noise.
Plastic whale which throws things out the top.
He got a plastic whale that throws things out the top, little balls.
He wasn't a normal toddler. He had nannies, cooks, chauffeurs, and even at a young age, I think you're aware that this isn't how people live.
Carol Wallace is managing editor of People magazine and has worked on hundreds of stories about the royal family. What kind of child was William?
Oh, very precocious. Charles and Diana would tell about him shoving shoes down the toilet or hiding out in Highgrove in the pantry once they had to call in security because nobody could find him. He was a mischievous, happy little kid.
Despite their protection, Wills, as he's known, could no more escape the glare of publicity than his own parents could.
Young Prince William seemed eager to get the picture-taking over with and get to know the other children.
Even so, Princess Diana insisted William and his younger brother Harry know something about the world outside the palace.
I take them around homelessness projects. I've taken William and Harry to people dying of AIDS, albeit I told them it was cancer. I want them to have an understanding of people's emotions, people's insecurities, people's distress, and people's hopes and dreams.
Sometimes it was as simple as a ride on a roller coaster.
Going to an adventure park, this was a big outing. Who among us would think it was a big deal to go to McDonald's? Yet, for one of these kids, this was a big outing. This was going to the movies was a big outing.
He has a crush on a member of the popular group, the Spice Girls, who last night won an MTV award and dedicated it to Princess Diana.
She is a fantastic ambassador for Great Britain.
And he's become somewhat of a teen idol. The magazine Live and Kicking ranked the top 10 reasons why Wills is cool. Among them, that he wears sneakers instead of sensible shoes. William lived between two worlds, the casual lifestyle with his glamorous mother. His other world with Dad calls for slacks and button-downs even when rock climbing. Charles's childhood was said to be void of affection, lonely, and bound by royal traditions. How will that upbringing affect Charles as a single parent to the future King of England? Charles spent most of his time with nannies, while his mother, Queen Elizabeth, fulfilled her royal duties.
The Queen was busy being Queen. She had a career, a full-time job. I sense their relations weren't particularly close, that they didn't actually see that much of each other.
And when his mother did return home, she often greeted her son like an acquaintance.
Royalty is, in many ways, a harsh and demanding and rather cruel occupation.
Diana, by contrast, often publicly embraced her children and would take them along on some official visits. As a child, Charles was even more isolated when he was sent to a remote school in Scotland, where he wrote, "It's absolute hell here, and I wish I could come home."
I think he resented the iron discipline and Spartan living. He didn't find many people of his own background there, and I think that contributed greatly to making him a rather lonely and withdrawn and inward-looking figure.
Instead, for William, the royal couple chose a school Diana's family attended, Eton, an elite school rich with aristocracy and close to his grandmother's residence, Windsor Castle.
I think he's the only one at Eton with a private room and certainly a private bathroom. I think he's very aware of trying to be one of the guys.
With the privilege comes duty, but young Wills may have different ideas.
There are reports that Prince William had told his parents that he does not want to join the Navy. Does that break with royal tradition?
It would break with royal tradition. The monarchy has always identified very closely with the military. It's always been thought that the heir to the throne should have, as part of his education, a military training somewhere along the line, as of course Prince Charles himself did.
And Prince William may inherit another duty, protector of his younger brother Harry. The two boys are said to be very close.
You see these wonderful pictures of the two of them together.
Child development expert Eli Neuberger.
That'll be a terrific source of strength for both kids. For William to be able to be in a nurturing role, for Harry to be able to be the recipient of his brother's love and care.
Inevitably, both parents did agree on one thing, their eldest son's destiny, to be groomed for the monarchy. And tomorrow's funeral may be his first formal lesson.
The next time he walks behind the coffin of one of his parents, that's to say his father, all being well, it will be as King of England.
At his mother's funeral, the world will be watching him intensely. So too will the media. It's reported the prince is uncomfortable with the press and may even blame it for his parents' divorce. It's unknown how he feels about the role paparazzi may have played in his mother's death. But after tomorrow, the glare of publicity will only intensify.
He's obviously going to be the most photographed, speculated about young man since John Kennedy Jr.
Your mom was a wonderful woman. She was great.
At 15, he's already considered the salvation for the royal family, one who might combine the Windsor's tradition with Diana's humanity to create a monarchy more of the people. When he does assume his future title as King William V, many may be thinking of a princess from the past.
They will always see in this man with this heavy head of hair and this long, slim body and long legs and this amazing look through his eyelashes, they will always see in him his mother.
Not that it matters to the British, but a poll of Americans suggests that people think 15-year-old William would make a better king than his father. When asked who should succeed Queen Elizabeth, 25% said Charles, while 59% said William.
Coming up next, the monarchy missteps. With the kingdom watching, can the royal family shine up its tarnished image? As we continue our Dateline.
The funeral. Police estimate the city will have to find room for an extra 3 to 6 million people.
We miss her, real bad. So we want to be a part of this, and a part of this.
Westminster Abbey, the ancient burial place of English kings, will hold the funeral service. Diana's body will then be buried on an island in a lake on her family's country estate.
You can't do anything else but sort of break down and show your emotions. I don't think you can hold that stiff upper lip, you know, in a time like this.
Tradition is constant in Britain, but so is change. And there is something new here. The British people no longer believe that a stiff upper lip is the right way to deal with grief. It is something Diana taught people by her own example during her short life. Now it seems the rest of the royal family may be learning that lesson too.
Yesterday, the father of Dodi Fayed, Diana's companion in life and death, emerged from his offices at Harrods department store, which he owns, to thank the crowds of well-wishers. Mohammed Al-Fayed spoke briefly for our cameras.
You find this tremendous support of such nice, ordinary people. It gives you a lot of courage. And I appreciate when they are here, standing for hours, just sign a book and giving their condolence. Carrying flower is something hitting.
Then Mr. Fayed talked privately with Barbara. Barbara, what did he have to say to you?
Well, Hugh, first of all, he said that he was going to have his own investigation of what happened at the accident. He's